Tonight we're going to work on the NBA Fastbreak pinball machine from Bally. I last left you guys having gone through this machine and kind of shown you guys what was going on. One of the things I do need to work on this machine is the LED shot clock here. Now I've tested the voltages and everything seems to be okay. I've got voltage coming in as I should. There are two boards here, one for the display and one that drives the display. I did get another one in off of Pinside, so I'm going to test those boards out. Hopefully those work, and if those do work, I'll mix and match the different combinations so I can see if I can narrow down what the problem is between these two boards. Also in this episode we're going to take a look at the defender piece here. As you can see, my defender's missing, and I had temporarily put a metal L bracket on here so I could at least have some sort of defender there to block the ball from going in, because when you're playing with no defender you can just shoot the ball up this ramp all day long. So I got a new defender part in, and I also have a reproduction from the Russian Federation that we're going to take a look, and we'll compare that with the original and we'll see how it looks. But we'll also go ahead and show you how to replace that defender plastic as well. So here's the package I got in off of a member from Pinside, and in here I do have the defender piece, and as you guys can see, the plastic defender is here. Mine was missing. This overall seems to be in better condition than mine, but it is missing a little wheel here, so I will move that over. And we can kind of see how this whole defender arm sits on the motor. There's a couple set screws here that allows that to sit on the motor. So we'll go ahead and show you how to replace that. Also in here I have the shot clock, and now this is the shot clock that is going to be hopefully working. It was pulled working, but we'll see what's actually going on. And so we have the shot clock here with the two boards. I'm just going to pull the two boards for now. Actually, I'll probably just plug this whole thing in and see if it works, but all I really need are these two boards that are there for the shot clock, and we'll test those out. This guy also had some plastics. Had a couple plastics cracked, and so he sent those to me as well. So we'll go ahead and replace a couple of the wire forms with the plastics, because the plastics are actually riveted to the wire forms here. And he did also have the diverter, that metal diverter there that allows you to go around to do that 3-point shot. I think that's what this is, wrapped in aluminum foil, or it's a leftover snack perhaps. Nope, it's that form there. Now mine's in decent shape, but his looked like it was better, so I'm just gonna swap it over. So it looks a little bit cleaner there. And there you go, that's what came in that package. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with that shot clock and keep our fingers crossed that it works. So to remove the boards from the shot clock, it's actually not too bad at all. I did pull the table out a little bit, but all you really need to do is loosen this bolt here on this side. Don't even need to do it all the way, and then this arm will fold up, and the other arm will fold up here, and then you're able to undo your connector and pull out the display and the driver board all at once. Then you can just go ahead and drop in your replacement, and we will mix and match later, but we just want to check and make sure that this other one is working. We'll drop this in. Now there is a little thing that it sits in there. So you want to make sure you got that lined up. We'll reconnect our cable here. Then let's go ahead and fire on the game and see if this works. Hopefully it does. So we've got power. Hey, there we go. The shot clock is working as it should. This is good. That's exactly what we wanted to do, is count down. The other one wasn't counting down, so perhaps what we'll do is we'll swap the boards back and forth and see if we can actually narrow down which one is working and which one is not. If it's the driver board then there's more that could go into it, but if it's the display, maybe it's a little bit more self-explanatory, and at least you know which one you need to get. So I just swapped boards to test. This is the working driver board that I just got in, and this is my original display here. So if this combination doesn't work, this would be the display board that's bad and not the driver board. So that's interesting. So part of the display works. 1, 2, 0. Okay, so that's unique. I don't know what would cause that. Let me swap boards again and we'll see where we're at. So this is counting, so it's 2. It must be counting down for 10 seconds and to the 1. And then 0, blinking. So this display is out. Okay. Let's investigate a little bit further. So this combination here is the new display that I got that's working, and the old driver board here, and we'll see what happens with that combination. So this is the old driver board and the new display, and we can kind of narrow it down to the display was the issue. So the driver boards both work, and it is the one display that is bad. Well, it's interesting because I bet you if I go back to like the original combination, I had absolutely nothing before. But both driver boards are testing to be okay. So let's just go test again. And if the original combination works, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Smack myself in the forehead or something. So we're back to the original combination of the original driver board and the original display that was in this machine when I got it. And in theory, it shouldn't work, but the display was working when we tested with the other driver board on that display. So I don't know what's going on yet. I mean, in theory, it shouldn't work at all, but I guess also in theory, that display should work. Now, I have gone through and reflowed everything, but at the time when I tested it, nothing happened, so I don't know. But let's give it a test and see what happens again. Okay, so we're right back to where it was. So is there a short somewhere in this display? Because I mean, it wasn't working at all. And now this display is working. So should I just reflow everything again? I mean, I reflowed a bunch of stuff. I thought I reflowed everything, but I mean, I guess I can go back and check it and see what's what, and I can, at least now I can compare between the two. But this is good. So this display is working. This one is not, and we know both driver boards work. So this is not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, let's, I don't know, go from there. So I put my new display and driver boards back into the shot clock, and I was working on this because, as you guys saw, I had the tens place. Sorry, let me hold it the right way. The tens place digit was working. So display 1 was working, and it worked with both driver boards. Display driver boards, but I couldn't get display 2 to work. So I was like, you know what, it's got to be some sort of short, right? So I went through and I reflowed a bunch of solder on this board here, and lo and behold, it's right back to where it starts, and it's not working. I don't know what's going on. I think I've got it narrowed down to the display board, I think, but I can't quite tell. So I'm going to put it on the back burner for probably ever until I need one again. Hopefully, no, I don't. But there you go. I don't know. I've given up. I've reflowed a bunch of things. I've compared things between the two boards. Everything seemed good. I don't know. Continuity seemed good as well. It's kind of hard to do a continuity test though between the driver board and this when it's plugged in, just because I can't get back here to test all the points. But I don't know. It is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next part. So right now we're looking at the underside of the pinball machine, and make sure you guys don't do what I do and forget to take the balls out, because they all ended up under here. Whoops. I always forget. It's like I remove them once and then apparently I put them back in. So anyway, this is the arm for the Defender. The Defender goes in this little arc here, and you can see it from the top. There's a blue kind of a springy bushing thing there, and I'm losing the word for it, but that's so that when the ball hits that absorbs some of the impact there. And here's the Defender arm, which attaches to the motor down in there. It looks like you might need to take this motor off to get to it. At least that's what it looks like anyway. Because otherwise that's going to be kind of hard to get into. There's a set screw down in there, but that's going to be hard to reach. So you would probably need to remove this housing here for the motor to get to it. But I don't think we need to remove this whole arm to replace just the plastic Defender. And let me show you what I mean. So here is a Defender arm that's been removed. I got this in a bunch of other parts, and you can see the two set screws down here. There is this plate here. This plate goes in between all of the optos, and this would need to be straightened out before I could use this, otherwise it's going to scrape away the sensor there. That reads its positioning. And you can see those. There's a board. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. See these little black things right here? Those are all the little sensors that little piece of metal will slide through, and if it's bent, it's going to hit each one of those, and that tells you the position of where the Defender is. Now, to remove the actual plastic Defender, it's not horrible. Let's take a look at it real quick. So we will need to remove these Allen key screws here. This one's already missing down here. But once to do that, first thing you're going to need to do is when it's on the play field, because you're not going to be able to remove this whole arm, is there's going to be a screw on the top here that you're just going to undo. So let's go ahead and undo that. So we undo this screw here, and that's where kind of right near the Defender's face. We'll make sure we don't lose that. And then this comes off. Now if you look in the back here, all you need to do is move the whole Defender. Looks like kind of in an upward motion. Maybe up and over. Let me fiddle with this for a second. So we're going to struggle through this together. Now my plastic Defender is missing. I've undone that top screw here that's kind of in front of the Defender's face. And now I can just slide this down. Okay. And then I lift up on it, and this pulls right out. Now, for whatever reason, I couldn't do that with the Defender plastic there because it was binding on something. So I'm going to play with this and see if I can actually still do that with the plastic piece on. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. We'll find out, though. So here are the two Defender plastics side by side. The one on the left here, this is the one I got off of eBay from Russia. And the one on the right is the original one that I just got from person who was parting out an NBA Fastbreak. There are a couple differences. You can kind of tell that the colors are a little bit different. They are a little bit brighter on the original. The person on the left looks like he has more of a tan, and the person on the right looks like he's a little bit pasty white. You can also tell a little bit in the jersey color. The yellow is just not quite as bright, and you know, the hair color is a little bit darker brown versus that's almost a reddish brown. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is going to work just fine. The holes do line up with one exception. The hole on the original down here is a little bit bigger. Now, I don't know if that's original or not. I can't quite tell. I can't tell if it's just worn or if that is the actual size of the hole. And hopefully somebody can let me know. The reason that I didn't think that it's the original is because that's pretty close to the edge of the plastic, in my opinion. And it doesn't look like it's wearing evenly here on the backside. So I'm not sure if that's an original hole size or not, but if I do line them up on top of each other, I mean, they're pretty close fit. The original is just a hair bigger. Let's see if we look at it from this side. So holes line up, and the original is just a little bit bigger. You guys can see that. But the holes do line up, which is what is important. So I think I'm going to put one of these back on. I'm not quite sure which one. I'm like, do I put the original on because it's a little bit bigger? Or do I put the reproduction one on and save this one for a rainy day? I'm not sure, but I know that somebody does sell a protector plastic for your Defender, so I think I might get that and put that on as well. So I put the Defender on. I decided to go with the eBay one because I think that hole is wearing, so I'll be able to save this for reference. But anyway, after you undo these three, and you do need a tiny little Allen key to get them off, it just slides straight up like that. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put this arm back on the way I thought. Now, I didn't have a plastic Defender, so it slid off of that really easily, this other arm back here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this back on. I have a feeling that this is the Defender is going to bind on it. So I may actually just have to undo all three screws and put it on again, which is going to be a pain in the neck because there's not a lot of room to work in here without taking all of this apart, which I do plan on removing some of these because these are cracked and I did get replacements in. So that is a possibility, but I don't want to do it right now. So let's see if we can actually get that on. I should be able to drop it in this hole here. And the idea is I should just be able to kind of slide this over, but I don't think I'm going to make it. This isn't going to clear. Well, it's a good idea anyway, right? The idea was like, oh, let's just slide this back on, but it does not want to do that, and I don't want to force it because I don't want to break it. So off comes the Defender, and we will try this again another way. Alright, so be prepared to watch me struggle with this. So the idea is I don't lose this little roller here because there's nothing holding it on right now. And the other goal is to not lose the tiny screws on the play field because I don't want to spend forever looking for them. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this back on. And hopefully everything stays. Okay, so this goes something like this. And you know what? I might as well just put that. I feel like I should just put that screw in right now, the one that goes up here. But I think I don't have to. We'll hold off. And then we will slide the plastic Defender on. It just kind of goes on like this. Yeah, that's why it's a tight fit. There we go. It's back all the way. And And then we have to try and get the 3 screws in here without losing them. Easier said than done. I apologize, my arm is just going to be in the way, so I'm going to cut away and you can watch me not be frustrated. So I did get the Defender in, and it was a total pain in the neck because I thought I could just remove that piece like I had showed you. But I ended up having to do this all here, and I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I had to make sure I got my Allen key in here and did the 3 screws. And of course, you know, I did drop it a couple of times, but that's tight in there. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. That is a tight spot to get your hand into and get that Defender off. I'm sure there's a better way, and somebody's going to let me know, and that would be great. But, man, that was a pain in the neck. So I've gone through, I've replaced the rubbers on here. I had a kit that was given to me when I got the game with black rubbers, and it looks okay with the black rubbers on there. But, you know, the kit was not a good kit. Didn't have all the rubbers I needed. So luckily I had some extra black rubbers lying around that I was able to make it work. But, you know, it is what it is. I still need to replace the player Shooter 3 and Shooter 4 plastics. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. I think I can just undo these brackets here, and then this whole plastic will come off, but I do have to figure out what's going on with the wires underneath, and hopefully there's a connector or something. Otherwise, I just got to make one and place something in. I did clean the play field. I didn't pull everything off, but I had to pull all the ramps off and everything just to get to the rubbers. So this was kind of a pain in the neck, especially back here. So like to get to some of these rubbers, I had to take off all of the shot clock, the ramp, all the hardware. And it was not easy to get to, which would explain why some of the rubbers on here were very old. And some of the bulbs probably had never been replaced. I did put some LED bulbs in throughout the GI, the general illumination for the most part. I haven't done any of the flashers or the inserts yet. I don't have enough of those bulbs or the right type of bulbs to do it. So those are not done yet. But I will go through and I'll get to them. I'll take account of what I need and place an order for some LED bulbs. But I will show it to you real quick with what it looks like on. I've got no balls in here, so it might give me an error. I've got no back glass on too, so it'll probably give me another error. But that's okay. So let's go ahead and turn the game on and see what it looks like. So here is the play field with the LEDs. This is the natural white LEDs from Comet. I think they do provide a little bit of a bluer look, which is okay for me right now. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I think the incandescent yellowish glow looks a little bit better. I did put some yellow LEDs down in here because when that cool white, or that natural white even, was showing through, that looked kind of weird. But I did put them here to make it nice and bright. But I think it looks a little bit better, a little bit sharper, definitely. I just need to do the inserts next, and then it'll really kind of pop, I think. But it's coming along, and it's nice having a working shot clock. So there you go. This is the NBA Fastbreak where it's sitting at the moment. The next things to do are replace those 2 shooters and do the inserts here with LEDs. Now, let me show you what I was using real quick for LEDs. This is the frosted dome from Comet. It is, let's see if we can show you. Maybe it'll focus. That's the Defender moving back there. Maybe. Focus! So here's the bulb that I put in through most of it. I do have some interesting things going on with the GI lighting. I was having with the incandescent bulbs, it's like it goes away after it warms up, so I do think I need to check the connectors for my general illumination and see what's going on, because after they are flickering, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it flickering, probably not, but maybe you kind of can see it over there, but it goes away after a little while. Yep, there it is. It's stopped. It's gone. It's like when it's cold, it does it. So I gotta go and see what's going on with that. It's just kind of annoying. I don't know if it's intermittent yet or not. I just haven't had the game on long enough, but there we go. And I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on with the NBA Fastbreak. I'm going to drop some balls in, and we'll play it, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any questions or comment, please feel free to let me know.